What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. And break down what's happening with the market moving forward and talk about some very important levels for Tesla, what you should be watching for as time progresses. But let me just mention that I am not a financial planner. Make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. Anyways, for Tesla, we're actually holding up very, very well right now. We're seeing Tesla trying to test this resistance near this 232 area. We'll have to watch and see if Tesla could break the structure right here to really start this push. Now, we have a cup and handle like structure that is developing, but the question is, can we break this resistance and really start this pump, or are we about to see something very, very different? So I'm going to give you guys some information about this over the next couple of minutes. We have a big catalyst that's coming out. First thing that's worth noting is the fact that initial jobless claims came out at 249,000. This is above expectations thus far. But later on for today, we have the ISM manufacturing PMI reports all coming out, not to mention the manufacturing PMI. So that's from the S&P Global. So at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 15 minutes after the market opens, we have the S&P Global manufacturing PMI. Look for volatility when that comes out. That's going to be a little bit minor, but it might cause somewhat of a move. However, at 10 o'clock a.m., okay, this is when things get very, very serious. At 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the ISM manufacturing PMI, manufacturing employment, manufacturing new orders, and manufacturing prices. Prices and new orders will be the two most important factors because it's going to give us insights on how things are looking for the month of July, how our manufacturing prices looking, which is important for inflation. So look for some high volatility at 10 o'clock a.m. once this data comes out. There's a good chance the data is going to be decent, especially as prices are dropping. This could actually pump the markets. So get ready for some high volatility at 10 o'clock a.m. On top of this, I just want to mention that we had Moderna just announce its earnings. And later on today, we have Amazon, Apple, Intel, and Coinbase also announcing their earnings. As far as Moderna goes, let me just say that they've basically dropped more than 10% because it slashed its guidance on low EU sales. That's actually not the best of news for them. So you guys can see right here, EPS and revenue were, not best. The loss per share was at $3.33 versus $3.39 expected. Revenue is at $241 million. But unfortunately, as how things are kind of shifting, they've dropped their guidance, especially because of what's happening in EU as sales are continuing to decrease right over here. So with that going on, with European sales decreasing, now we're actually expecting the revenue to come in between $3 and $3.5 billion. Before they were saying $4 billion, so it's a little bit of a decrease. That's why the share price is down. As far as Tesla goes, the Greenfield Police Department are adding Tesla police vehicles to cut costs and go green. This is making a lot of headlines in California. They're adding 3 Model Y vehicles to their police fleet, and that's very, very important. So this not only helps them save a lot of costs, but it's very cool to see Teslas being incorporated this way. They also gave Tesla credit for having 5-star crash ratings and being superior in safety relative to other vehicles. So it's very, very good to see them being adopted, and it's very, very cool for the company. This will help bring a lot more growth if more and more police fleets around the US start adopting Teslas because it could save them on gas prices and such. This could be very useful, and I can't wait to see what this leads to. So very, very cool stuff, and I think that this could also bring in more revenue for Tesla. So very cool stuff too. That's bullish news for Tesla. Can't wait to see how things develop. And now let's just talk about the charts. So as far as Tesla goes, this 232 resistance area, it's still very stubborn. As you guys can see, Tesla has not broken this yet. If we break 232, watch 235. If that breaks, watch 238. And if that breaks, we have this imbalance to fill all the way up to 246. For support, if Tesla were to get a rejection, make sure you watch 225 as key supports, not to mention 219. If we lose 219, we could actually turn back down, and that's when I'd be a little bit more concerned. As long as we're above the 219 area, we're going to be fine, but make sure you just pay attention to my warning. As far as Tesla goes, you could argue you have kind of like a slanted structure. This could be developing into a bullish wedge. It is possible as long as we actually hold our supports. So I'll be watching to see if Tesla holds this right here. We could be drawing like a trend line like this. We might consolidate for a little bit. So if it dips a little bit, it might just get bought back up for some time, and later on we might be looking for that push to fill that gap. So overall, it's looking bullish. Got a nice cup and handle like structure. We'll see if we end up breaking 235 once our data comes out for today. I'll be watching to see if that ends up being the case. But nonetheless, guys, Tesla is still looking a little bit more bullish on the setup. As long as we eventually break 235, we'll easily make our way all the way up to 238 in the 240s. We look more bullish overall. But for the short term, we might dip a little bit, retest 227 or so, consolidate for a little bit before we see a nice push. So far, there is potential upside for Tesla, but we might start off with a little bit of consolidation. For SPY, if we could hold above 553.5, we're going to likely push all the way up towards 556. If we reject, we'll be dipping back down towards the 552 area. So the 4-hour has a nice double bottom like structure. It's looking more bullish. And when you look at the 1-hour time frame, the hourly time frame is once again respecting this uptrend. So this favors a push right all the way up here around 556. So I favor a nice push on SPY. I think we're going to be testing 556. If you were to hypothetically lose 550, watch 547. 547 is key support. If we lose that, we could be dipping back down, but that's looking unlikely. To me, the chart looks more bullish and it favors 556. So I favor upside on SPY. For other stocks like ES, we look bullish. Nice double bottom. We look like we're pushing. We still have this gap all the way up here. Actually, I think we filled the gap. We could continue to push all the way up towards the 5600s, all the way up here. That looks more favorable for SPX over the next few days. SPX has the same setup. Sorry, that was ES I was talking about. SPX still has this gap to fill. I think this could also push in the symmetrical structure into the almost 5600 area. So SPX, ES all have bullish momentum that's building. As long as ES does not end up losing 5480, it's going to favor upside. For Nvda pushed all the way up towards this resistance around 121, and we're now at 119. So we'll just have to see how well we hold up right here. Watch 119 and 116 as key supports. If we lose that, I'll be looking for 112. If we break past 121, we'll be looking for a push all the way up towards 125. This chart is still looking more bullish. I think there's a good chance it's going to try to push for the 121s, if not higher. So I think we'll be looking for 121 and eventually 123 as resistance. There's a good chance we're going to be looking for a push. For Bitcoin is also trying to push on the hourly time frame. As long as we hold above 64,760, I think we're going up to 65,000. That has potential to push up, in my personal opinion, just a little bit. For the QQQ, we're holding up very, very well. I think that as of right now, we're consolidating. We might consolidate for a bit longer in this 472 area. We want to see what kind of reaction we get at 10 a.m. when the ISM manufacturing numbers come out. If we eventually break 475, which is the previous support becoming resistance, then we could be pushing all the way up towards the 480 area. There's definitely potential for that, in my opinion. For Apple's looking a little bit more bullish. We could be pushing all the way up towards 225. We also have support at 222, but I favor upside for 225 and maybe even higher levels like 226.75. So we look more bullish on Apple, and this is favoring upside for 225. We have earnings coming up, so we'll just have to see how it performs from there. The IWM is looking more bullish. We'll see if 225 breaks. This also kind of has a cup and handle like structures. It's uptrending. So we're going to be looking for a test of 225 that breaks. We could get closer to the highs at 227. And once that breaks, 230 is coming. I think we could slowly uptrend for that. For Coinbase, we're going to likely be testing 239. If that breaks, I think we're easily going to be going up towards 231, but then we'll see if we reject. Like I said earlier, I think we just have a little range right here. If we weren't to lose 224, I'll be looking for that gap fill at 218. But I think we're just going to trade sideways like around 231 or so, just not really doing much. Amazon's also trying to uptrend. Going to be looking for a test of 190. We'll see if that breaks. If we do break this, we could try to fill this gap. That's all the way up here. So look and see 190. If we break that, 193 is coming, and we could push approaching earnings. If we do reject, look at 187.5 as key support, but this chart's still favoring upside a little bit more. Meta, it's still pushing towards 520. We'll see if that breaks or not. If that does break this 520 resistance, we could be going all the way up towards the 535 area. Meta still looks very, very bullish. Microsoft is also looking more bullish, looking at this bullish wedge that's forming. This could be looking for 424 very, very soon, if not higher. So it's favoring upside as long as we hold above 420. If we don't hold that, look at 418, but this favors the upside. Google's also uptrending very nicely. It's favoring upside. This could be pushing all the way up towards 175. So I favor a little bit more upside in my personal opinion. So we'll just have to see how things go. Anyways, with that being said, I want to thank you all so much for listening. Tesla's looking more bullish. It's favoring the upside in terms of its trend. We'll have to see if we could break past 235 or not, but if that does break, we'll just continue to push these imbalances. So we'll see how it goes. In the morning, look for a little dip on Tesla and some consolidation just to start us off. We'll see. As long as we hold above 219 to 220, we're going to be completely fine. Might dip a bit and consolidate before we see more potential upside later on. And look for a big reaction at 10 a.m. once we get our important data from the ISM manufacturing numbers. All right. Thank you for listening. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you guys very soon on the next one in just a couple of hours. And peace out.